stand as a people with one song, with one voice. We're a nation undivided and poised. We will take a stand and build our land in faith to defend what is ours. Here we are as a people with one heart for one cause. We're determined to rebuild and restore.
I salute you again. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Apostle.
Well, my name is Apostle Helen Rudokeno, the senior pastor of Rivers of Life Bible Church and the director of Radio Voice of Niger. We are here tonight. I'm the treasurer of NNA. In this wonderful occasion, which is at least the first of its kind that NNA is having in alliance with GGD, the health municipality. It's a pleasure to have every one of you here, and we apologize if we have taken a little bit of time, if we have entered into lateness, but things are going to work out very, very fast. So I would want us to invite, I'm going to be your MC for the first tenor of this program, and then afterwards I'll hand over. But before we start, just like we all know, it would be nice to give honor to whom honor is due. Honor is due unto God. So shall we all be on our feet, even as we invite Mr. Tony Oka to come, and Mr. Tony Oka, please, to lead us into the opening prayer. Mr. Tony, please.
Praise the Lord. Once again, welcome to everyone around here. Let us bow down and praise God. In Jesus' name. Everlasting God, we thank you. We give you all the praises and the honor. Father, thank you for the gift of life. We know that many are in mortuary, many are in various places of pain like prison and psychiatric hospital. But unto us are giving us the opportunity to see today. Father, we say may your name be glorified in Jesus' name. Amen. Father, as we are about, Lord, to listen to the information that will transform our life. Father, above all, make us to implement whatever we are going to hear today in Jesus' name. Father, even the people we are going to use to talk to us, Lord, Father, eternal King of glory, bless them. Bless their family. Above all, bless NNA. In Jesus' mighty name we pray.
Amen.
Before we continue, it would be nice to at least appreciate each and every one of the dignitaries that are here. All protocol are observed. I believe we have some traditional leaders. We also have other dignitaries. But we may not be able to mention your names one by one. We want you to know that you are highly appreciated and you are highly recognized. So without wasting of time, I would want to invite the president of the Nigerian National Association here in the Netherlands, our own person that God have endowed and have given such an honor to lead this association. So help me, ladies and gentlemen, receive Chief Mrs. Evelyn for her speech. Oh, come on, you can do more than this. Come on, give it to her. Give it to her. Come on, give it to her.
His Royal Highness, Igwe Wangu, my Honorable Young Water, and his colleague from the Gimente, the new immigration officer, immigration advocate for Nigerians, Mr. A.G. Clairweg, my vice, respected ladies and gentlemen. I am super excited this evening to be here. This is the first of this type of training for Nigerians. The Nigerian National Association, the Netherlands, NNA, in collaboration with the Dutch Public Health Municipality Council, the GGD, we decided to bring health information for all Nigerians residing in the Netherlands. NNA has a lot for Nigerians. This administration is out to bring positive contribution in the life of all Nigerians residing in the Netherlands. But we went in and looked into it, and we saw that there's nothing that will move if you're not healthy. The first thing is for you to be healthy and alive before other things will follow. That is why we met with the Dutch authority where we are residing, because this is our home. And by the grace of God, they granted us that wish to make sure that Nigerians residing in the Netherlands, that we have that full information about our health and living a healthy lifestyle. I want to really apologize because this is the first of this type of training, and our people, we are too busy. We are too busy. That has been the status quo. But we are trying to make it, because with time everybody will start learning. We don't even take holidays. When we are on holiday, we do business along the line. That is what is not, that has been our, but we are ready to change. Now we are ready to honor invitations like this. We are ready because health is wealth. Money is good, but I want to let you know that big money comes from big ideas. And big ideas will come from sound mind. Sound minds exist in sound body. And sound body, that is what will grant you whatever you wish. When you are sick, when you are in the hospital, you forget everything you have. You are ready to ask them to come and take whatever you have in order for you to be healthy. So today, I am very happy because the people you are looking at here, they are representatives of different associations. And the Nigerian National Association is made up of almost more than 34 or 35 associations in the Netherlands. And each single association is made up of more than 60 people. So these people will go back, whatever information you relate to them today, they will go back to their various associations to also give them back that information. So I thank you all for coming. I thank the new immigration advocate for Nigerians for coming. I thank the GGD for honoring this our invitation. I want to let you know that when you talk of NNA, you talk of growth. When you talk of NNA, you talk of empowerment. You talk of NNA, you remember possibilities and excellence. Thank you.
Clapping is not for sale. When people are serving us, let's learn to appreciate them. She is a lady that deserves honor, so we give it to her. Right, we are moving to the next item. We are going to have a man who I have come to know for the past 10 years, Mr. Clairweg. He has been on our show many times, and he has always been there whenever we stretch forth hand to call him, all the way from Den Haag. He will be on our show by 9 o'clock, 9 in the morning, and he will be on the television show as well. So this hour, we have him here today to talk a little bit about immigration. Please help me receive Mr. Klywek.
Almost a miracle. I see a group of people gathering together under guidance of Ms. Aziz and the association to gather knowledge. Most important of all, knowledge about the place where you live. Not grouping together trying to avoid meeting other people, meeting ideas, and basically society, but reaching out, learning about it. And that is a turning point. When you do that, you learn of this place. When you learn about this place, about the rules, about how things work, then you don't need anybody anymore. Because if you're smart enough, you can seek out most things yourself. And the worst thing that might happen, and the best thing, is that you might not even need lawyers anymore. So that is, I think, the magic what's happening here today. Immigration is just one thing, that's my business, but I cannot mention enough how happy I am to see what the association is doing. So that is basically what I wanted to do, show my appreciation for the association, and maybe give a short talk about immigration, because we hear now about health, and that is more important than anything life agreed about. Immigration law is not a magic machine, it's not a box, or if you apply enough times that you get your permit in the end, or you wait long enough and things happen maybe for the best. It's not a machine of luck. It is a strict. So what I always start to explain to my clients is, don't think it's a gamble you take, it is a system. And if you look at the problem and you start seeing the system, you might see the way in or the way out, no matter how you look at it. So that is what I would like to give to you tonight. Let's all keep our eyes open and use our common sense. First listen to the medical department, and then law will come later. Okay. Is that all right, Ms. Aziz? Yeah. Thank you. And may I wish you all a very, very good health.
Thank you. I believe if you have your business card, you can give them to the representatives here, because some of the time you have been on the show, it's always to look for an opportunity to get people like this so that they can know what you are doing. So in a nutshell, he has just told us he is very, very, very deep into immigration matters, and I have known him for a long time, and I know that each case he has handled, it was very, very perfect. So gentlemen and ladies, we wouldn't bring people who are not qualitative in this sort of environment. So Mr. Klywek is one of the good lawyers that we have here, so I can bet for him. So now we are going to skip up some of the other things in the program, because our own person, Dr. Willie, is not here. And we went as well so far and invited the GGD Affairs, who gave us a firm promise that she'll be here with some other dignitaries. But even as at last night, I was chat with her, and then she said she'll be here. So we just want to believe that she's still on her way. But permit me this hour to invite our own person to come and take us through this health segment. That's someone that each time I'm joking with one, I always tell him I'm taking him to Nigeria. So for the past 10 to 11 years, I've been working with them. So it's a privilege to invite to this segment my own friend, Mr. Van Walter and Oscar Hosha. Please put your hands together for them. I want us to know that Van is always very strict, but he will deliver.
Good afternoon, people.
And I work for the program that promotes healthy lifestyle for children in Amsterdam. And I do it together with Juan.
Okay, thank you. And my name is Juan Walter. I'm a public health promoter. I work for the Municipal Health Service of Amsterdam. I'm doing this work 28 years? Yes, sorry. Can't help it. I look younger, but I'm old. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the health structure, the Dutch health structure. Just in short, because we don't have a lot of time, but I think it is important that you understand how it works. And then we will go over to healthy lifestyle. When I spoke with Alex, he asked me to talk about hypertension, blood diabetics, and things like that. We're going to address it, but from the healthy point of view. So more prevention than telling you what it is. Because I think to tell you what it is, I'd rather put a physician here, but then you still don't know what to do. And I think we need to talk about what can you do to be healthy. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
Good. So that means from now on, we are in a dialogue. I'm going to talk, but I expect you to talk too. So I expect you to ask me questions or things that are not clear. Or if you have any question, just raise your hand and I will take it along. Is that okay? Yeah. Good. So that's the program for today. Like you see, we are dealing with the African time. And the chair said it so nice. People from Nigeria, they work a lot. There is no work without play. Healthy lifestyle is all about balance. If you work a lot, you need time to rest. Your body needs time to recover. What makes it that you don't recover? Who can tell me that? How come that you work so hard and you forget to recover?
No rest.
No rest.
Yeah.
No, going to, there's a travel. Travel.
And why?
Vacancy.
And why?
Because of ignorance. We ignore others.
And is it ignorance?
Yeah, it's ignorance.
You're shaking your head.
No,
Yeah?
it's not about ignorance. The thing is, there is nobody that doesn't want to take rest.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes, because of responsibilities
Mm-hmm.
that are so much, like we the Africans, we come from families where,
Yeah.
you know, it's not like, oh, just me alone. It's something that the part of your family
Mm-hmm.
also relies on you.
Yeah.
So sometimes you go extra miles to make sure you make ends meet. That is one major factor.
So, if I did understand you correctly, you're saying responsibilities, people are counting on me, but at the same time, who is responsible for your health? So, why you are not taking care of yourself as the way you are taking care of others? That's the question. And I'm not saying you're doing wrong. I know how it is to be an immigrant in another country and taking care of your family back home. But your family back home needs to know that at times you need to take a break so you can help them further. At the same time, one of the things of healthy lifestyle is to learn others to take care of you. You know? So let's talk about that today. Well, okay, that's the program. We will forget it because we are not on time, so we're gonna leave it. So we're gonna go straight into what is the Dutch health system. The next one. Yes. Next. So, like you see, and I have the handouts over here. And over here. One is care, long-term care, prevention, And today we're going to talk mostly about prevention. The rest I'm going to leave it, I will address it, but I'm going to leave it for what it is. Is that okay with you? Good. Next one.
The Dutch healthcare system is divided into 4 acts. Health Insurance Act, Long-Term Care, Youth Health Services, Social Support.
Did you know this? No? Okay, so we're going to start with the Health Insurance Act.
Public and private. The Dutch health insurance system combines elements of public and private insurance. The central government is directly involved in implementing the Health Insurance Act and sets a number of public requirements which guarantee the social nature of the health insurance. Private individuals are required to purchase basic health insurance and are free to choose their own insurer. Health insurers are required to accept these private individuals under their policy, irrespective of their health condition.
So is it clear? Good. Next one.
No?
My question is, the public and the private sector of the insurance, I understand very well that the other individual health insurance companies are private ones, but the general one, which is a public one, how can somebody switch from the private to the public one, or rather how can somebody be insured in the public insurance company and at the same time is well insured? Yeah.
There's a very technical one, and I have to say I cannot answer it today. Therefore, you need an insurance agency. So maybe, Evelyn, it is possible to invite some people from the insurance company. One thing I have learned in the Netherlands is do what you're good in and leave it to the other professionals to do their work. So if you can accept that for us?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Health Insurance Act. The premiums for a policy offered are equal for all policyholders, regardless of their health condition, age or background. Health insurers have a duty of care. They must guarantee that health care is available in a basic package for all their policyholders. The contents of the insured basic health insurance package is provided for under the law.
So it is important that when you have an insurance, that they need to take you. They cannot say we are not going to take you because of being diabetic or whatever. They need to grant you access to the insurance. So a lot of time people say, yeah, they don't want to take you. You can sue them because the law said they need to accept you. Sometimes they will say, oh, due to your health problems, you need to pay more. But there's no problem, as long as they take you. Okay? So that's the most important message. Questions about this further? Okay, next one. If you want to fill in, come across.
No, I don't. You're the specialist, and I think I don't have much to add.
But you're the lawyer.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing I can tell you is I see a kind of distrust to government services and the private services. In this country, private service and government service equal quality.
Nowadays, yes.
Yes, indeed nowadays, but that's already for 10 years or so. I'm just public insurance, I'm just a poor guy, and I'm happy with it. Recently in my family somebody fell ill, needed specialist treatment, and it was given in the best hospital in the Netherlands, paid by the government, at least by the public insurer, which is not the government, but for common talking, it's the government.
Yeah.
So don't be mistrustful about it. And acceptance by the insurance companies is easy. They accept everybody only for additional insurances, which basically are not needed. They can charge you extra or will refuse you. Imagine if you have you want to insure your dental costs, which is, I think, a bad idea, because if you have normal teeth, you go once a year to the
I would advise to take it.
Yeah. Well, okay, but
I can understand your point of view from the financial point of view. I know, that's what I meant. It is about money. But let me tell you, dental costs, it can go quite heavily. So I prefer to have an additional, they call it here aanvullende verzekering, instead of not. So I would advise, take the best aanvullende verzekering you can afford. You know, because at times you need it. So that's my advice. But I agree about the money, but if you can afford it, take the best one you can have. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is it also applicable to those who are not documented?
I will come to that later on. And I have additional information on those pages, so if you can...
Heb je nog meer van die?
No, sorry about it. Because Oscar and I were in the office yesterday, so we printed 30 and forget it needed to be 60. So sorry. But we will send the presentation to Evelyn so she can mail it to everybody she wants. Okay? You're welcome.
A Long-Term Care Act. Personal care, assistance with washing, dressing, using the toilet, and eating and drinking. Care that increases self-reliance, assistance in structuring the day, gaining greater control over one's life, and learning to perform household duties. Nursing care, medical assistance, e.g. tending to wounds or administering injections. Treatment under the Long-Term Care Act. A medical, paramedical, or behavioral treatment which helps with the recovery or improvement of a specific condition.
So every other care, so you have the basics care, that was the insurance one. You have the long-term care, that is the one that you need for longer term. So that one, those are the conditions to ask them. For example, if you're sick at home and you need care 24 hours, you can ask for long-term care. If you have broken your leg and you're immobilized for a long term and you need to stay at home, you can ask for this type of care.
But this is not from the ziekenfonds.
No.
So this is a different part of the care.
Yeah. Different organization. Yeah.
This is, for example, what you apply to at the municipality, for example. Long-term care, transport to and from day programs and day treatment. For people whose medical condition prevents them from traveling to the day program or day treatment independently. The central government decides what types of care eventually end up in the health care package under the Long-Term Care Act and is advised in this process by the National Healthcare Institute.
And that's why sometimes it is quite confusing, because people think, oh, I'm insured, so why do I don't get that care? Because you need to be to another place to ask for it. So it is very important that if you know that the care is longer than 24 hours, that you need to go, for example, to the municipality and ask for it, or to the kruisvereniging. You know, those type of things you need to know. And all that information I have put some over there. And if you have more questions, you can always ask, and I will mail it so that Evelyn have it. Okay?
Yeah.
Social Support Act. The support is designed to ensure that people can continue to be productive members of society and to enable them to continue living at home. Furthermore, under Social Support Act, local authorities can provide sheltered accommodation and support to people who have no other options or who are unable to live at home. Under the Social Support Act, local authorities support people who have difficulty participating in society or who cannot take care of themselves or have a need for sheltered accommodation or support. This includes, for example, assistance in day program daytime activity, household support, support by an informal carer, volunteers, a place in a sheltered environment, sheltered accommodation for people with long-term psychological disorders, support for men, women and children who are victims of domestic violence, social support, e.g. for people who are homeless, financial support for people who incur significant additional expenses on account of their chronic illness or condition.
A lot, isn't it? So it is very important that you know that, for example, who are those people that you can think of who can apply? Can you give me some examples? Can apply to the Social Support Act.
The handicap?
A handicap?
Illegaal.
Who?
Illegals.
Undocumented people can be a little bit tricky because in a way they are not supposed to exist.
Ja, maar... En ook mensen...
I'm being honest. They are not supposed to exist, so you cannot have a certain service for people who are not documented. So in a way, there are services for people who are undocumented, but this apply more for people who are homeless or dealing with psychological or psychiatric illnesses that they cannot support themselves. Okay? So you need to make a difference. I understand your point, but I need to be honest about it.
Skip the next one.
Yeah.
Discounted transport for all people aged 75 and older. Personalized provisions are designed for a single person. This might include domestic assistance and support, cleaning and organization. Support in keeping personal records or an arrangement involving multiple types of support.
Is it clear? So there is a difference. Go ahead.
My question is, where can one apply for this? The community or to immigration?
The community. All of these you can apply to the community. Okay? And one of the reasons they put this act was because people were getting isolated. And to prevent that, because one of the things that promote being healthy is having an active social life. And when people are isolated, they become ill. And that's one thing that the municipal doesn't want. We want a healthy city, and therefore we are trying to work as hard as possible to achieve that together with you.
The Youth Act covers support, assistance and care for young people and their families coping with parenting and development issues, psychological problems and disorders. Young people who require an ongoing support, for example, due to a severe mental disability, are not covered by the Youth Act, but under the Long-Term Care Act. Under the Youth Act, local authorities support children, adolescents up to age 18, which may be extended in some cases to age 23, and their families in dealing with the development, parenting, and psychological problems and disorders. The local authorities are also responsible for implementing child protection measures and for youth rehabilitation services and the advising on and processing of reports of domestic violence and child abuse. Youth Act. Prevention, youth support services, child protection services, youth rehabilitation services, hotline for reporting incidents and cases of domestic violence and child abuse.
So also the youth is very important because they are the future. And if we don't take care of them, we don't have a future. So it is important that parents understand that at times, and especially when you migrate to this country, the way you treat your children back home will be different than here. You know? And a lot of time I have done workshops about youth well-being, and one of the things that a lot of time I hear is, yeah, but we know the best what is best for them. But at times, we as parents, we forget that we don't have all the skills, or not the patience. Especially when we work a lot. We are carrying a lot of responsibility, and then we expect a little child to understand our burden. And that's not going to happen. And that's why those laws are there, and those services are there, to give the parent some space to breathe, and to prevent that the child needs to suffer. Okay? Questions? Remarks? None? Good.
Regulation insecure insurable strangers. The following persons fall into the category. Persons staying illegally in the Netherlands. Persons who have applied for a residence permit and are therefore awaiting a residence permit. Persons who lodged an appeal against a rejection decision for the application for a residence permit.
So those are the individuals who cannot be insured. Okay? So, and what happens with them when they need help? Continue. This a schematic way of giving it. You have the medical necessary care of undocumented persons. There are two ways. People can pay for their own care. It is on your when you're a person who is undocumented but you need medical care, you can go and seek it, but at times you need to pay for it. If it isn't life-threatening. Okay? Or otherwise, you can go, seek for it, the patient cannot pay, but there are certain laws in place. Some caregivers can provide you the service, and then you can make a contract with them. Those services have a contract with the authorities, and therefore they can provide the service, and then even if the patient don't pay, they get 80% of the service that they given paid. That means that the patient needs to pay 20%. At times, the patient cannot pay that 20%. What happens then? At a certain point, they need to write it off. Because you cannot take the money from somebody who doesn't have it. Okay? It is different when there is a life-threatening situation. What are life-threatening situations? It can be that somebody got a heart attack, or had some problems with his diabetic and got into a coma, or had a nervous breakdown that is life-threatening. Then you can go to the caregivers and they can treat you until you get back on your feet. When you get back on your feet and they know you don't need further treatment, then you need to take care of your own bills, as long as you don't have an insurance. There are other ways that you can work with it. Those are Doctor of the World. Do you know them?
Yes.
They provide services. They have that kind of contract. But even they have their limitations. So be aware of it. And I will say, and I know it happens, I didn't say anything, but I'm gonna say it anyway, don't use each other's card. I know people do it, but what you are doing at that moment is you're bringing the person who is responsible for the card in life danger. Because people will get certain diagnoses in their dossier that are not theirs.
Yes.
And therefore, some physician who doesn't look further than their nose long ways can get into trouble because they will assume that, for example, you have diabetics and you don't have it. Or you have a heart disease and you don't have it. You see? So you better go, for example, to the doctors of the world instead of using each other's card. Okay?
Yes.
Be careful. Because you don't want to be treated for something you don't have. I'm being clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Please.
Yeah? You don't know?
No.
We will send the information to you. So where they are located, they are at the Waterloo Plain.
Doesn't know.
Sorry?
Yeah, they're here as well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to ask a question. I just want to compliment what you have just said. The Dr. Van der Wald, they are in Zaldos here, in Amsterdam Sports, very close to Amsterdam, and Amsterdam Sport. They always come here by every Wednesday or so.
Yes.
So, because as a person, I'm a victim of it because I'm accredited in the university, and during the course of my, trying to, augment my what do you call it, my permit.
Yes.
So my insurance got expired and that's kind of thing, and I was admitted into AMC. So at the end of the day, I don't have any money, and we were fearing who is going to take me down there, this and that. But I said, you just take me down there.
Mhm.
So when we got there, they were asking me a lot of questions. Have you traveled to outside Nigeria, outside the country?
Yeah.
This and that. I said, no. This is the so they admitted me. I give them my document and all this stuff. At the end of the day, they treated me, and they gave me almost about 8,000 euros.
Wow.
I said, how do I get it? So then somebody told me about it, that I should go to the Dr. Van der Wald. So when I got there, I explained the situation. I gave them my permit, everything, and then the man said, okay. The doctor said, okay, I'm going to help you. Then they called AMC because they have been calling me time without number. So then they called me, they helped me to call, that if they call again, tell them that they should direct my case to Dr. Van der Wald. So the essence of today is just for us to be able to get informed. Because if you are not accessible to information, you get informed. So I'm really happy that the Nigerians are here today. They are here to be able to, to get this information. And I urge you to be able to give us the insights so that all of us will be able to get accessible to it.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And I can add that next week, Oscar and I will have a meeting with the doctors of the world so that we can get more information about what are their services so that we can give it back to you. So that you can know, because I know in your community there are a lot who are still waiting for the permit or undocumented, but still need care and take care of the community. Okay?
Okay.
So, this is the part of the Dutch Health Service. Is it clear now for everybody how it works? In the additional information I put in the Word document, you can find other information. And I will try to give to Evelyn a sort of social card where you can get more information, where you can attend. Is that okay?
That is fine.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the Gemeentes, they are different from each other because I'm living in Den Haag. I don't know if he settled that. I think rules are
more or less the same. There are some differences, but they are more or less the same. When it comes to the municipal health service and the gemeente, more or less the same.
There are some things you can get here you don't get in another gemeente.
Definitely.
Yeah, like most of the. I'll give an example. I had a problem last year with. I invited somebody here, my old sister. So when the visa was expired, she got sick. She has to go to hospital.
Yeah.
And the bill was about 10,000. I went to doctors on the grens, but nobody wants to help. So at a stage, I had to let her go. She left. I wanted her to stay more. But my area, nobody wants to help. So maybe in Amsterdam they can help, but I don't think in another city it's like that.
In that way it is different. I have to say, and I would advise you, when you know that family members are coming for holidays, try to get an experience here for them, for the time they are here. Because by doing that, you are trying to, keep that money in your pocket. Yeah?
Sorry, I tried everything to insure her. No insurance wants to take her.
Did you apply before she came?
She had a travel insurance, but yeah, Africa travel insurance.
No, but you couldn't.
Yeah, normally it doesn't work as it's supposed to work because Africa sometimes you have to connect it round and round, So then when this thing happened, I tried to involve my own insurance. I mean, they can take up even other insurance. Nobody wants to.
No, your own insurance will not.
No, I mean not on my own name, but to make another insurance for her. It didn't work.
No, because she is already here.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. That's why before somebody gets here, insure that person, so they have a travel insurance and include medical care. That's the most important thing. Include medical care. Oh, he was first and then you.
Yes, I just wanted to chip in a question that the doctors of the world, are they only useful to undocumented individuals, or they are also ways they will be useful to? Because I know people who are even documented, their situations are worse than even those undocumented.
And do you have an idea? Economically.
And health-wise, they are worse than those undocumented.
But then it depends how they communicate with their GP, their general practitioner. Because I know, and we are hearing this a lot, especially in Southeast, that a lot of immigrants have communication problems. So it has to do with, one, our perception from back home, how we look at what the GP needs to do for us. And on the other side, we need to articulate better our needs. A lot of time you can come and sit in front of the GP. Don't expect the GP to know what is going wrong with you. You need to tell him or her. And a lot of time we are not used to do that. Or we are not clear how to define our problem. And that's something that we need to learn. We need to learn to articulate what we feel, how it feels, where it is, but also articulate what we expect from the GP to do. And a lot of time, if you don't know that, there is a miscommunication. And we are trying to deal with the GP by educating them that not everybody is as articulated as the autochtone Dutch community, and even they at times, and I'm looking at you and Oscar, even youth at times cannot always articulate what you feel.
True, and also it's a match with your GP and you, because it's also a human thing.
Yep.
Nigerian Dutch or something like that. Sometimes you have a GP and you, there is no chemistry.
No.
Yeah.
Don't try to push it, be honest about it, and say, doctor, maybe I can better be patient with other people. Sometimes there's no connection between you and your GP. That's not a problem, because that happens to everybody, to all professionals and to all patients. I have it sometimes with my clients too. But then it's better that the client says, or the patient, or the doctor, look, we're not a match. Please go to one of my colleagues, maybe you can get along better. And then things start working. Because essentially everybody with a residential status in the Netherlands is obliged to be insured. And if you have an insurance, then you can go to a doctor. And then basically your problems should be taken care of. If you can get along with your doctor, and if you can express what's your problem. And of course I should not make jokes here, because this is a serious matter, but my experience is that Dutch people, I'm rude, I'm straightforward. If I have a sore place or it's itching on the place where the sun doesn't shine, I go to the doctor, whether it's a doctor, a male doctor or a female doctor, and I say, look, I have an itch on a place where the sun doesn't shine. Can you have a look at it? But the doctor doesn't care. People from Nigeria, but also other places, are a bit shy with that. And if you say that you have a terrible headache while it's itching on another place, you get the wrong medicine. That's how it works, I'm afraid.
Thank you so much. What I want to say, here is that our system in Africa or in Nigeria is quite different, because when we go to the GP, you spend a lot of time, and then the GP will listen to you. But I've come to realize that it's not the same here. So when we are going, it's not even 10 minutes, it's now 5 minutes, because that's the latest now. So when you go to them, just take just one problem. Because each time I go to my GP and then I have pain here, I have pain here, I have pain here, then he said, no, just one. So when we go, just mention that which is more crucial, the one that is really aching you, let it be the one you will mention to the GP. Because if you go to the second and you go to the third, then you become confused, and he also will become confused. So he told me, my GP told me clearly, you can come tomorrow and come next tomorrow, but just one problem at a time.
Coming to that point, and my question, which I didn't conclude, we are aware of this, particularly the situation where we are leaders of Nigerians here, and we communicate with our members, all over the place, particularly in this south. They have complaints about their GP and all that, like Madame just said, And then I spoke with the doctor. I said, why is it like this? I was trying to see if I can find a solution or give information to some of our members on what they should do. The doctor told me that they can only attend to one thing at a time. And for that reason, the implication is this. You need to go to, I have been to my doctor like 4 times in the same week over related issues. You know what happened? At the other month, insurance took, I don't know how much, from my account. They took it because they said I did one test, this thing. I took medicine from the pharmacy. They took a lot of money from my account, and they've been doing that even this month. They are taking. Okay, that is because the doctor gives me multiple appointments and multiple tests, which they would have done at the same time. Is it advisable for my people to change doctors?
I will come to that too.
Thank you. This is a very learning curve for me also. Because what I realize now is, I see it with my clients, but also now obviously with patients, that African people are used to socialize very much. They talk a lot. They don't come to you and say, hey lawyer, I have a problem, I want this, can you fix it? No, they start, how are you? And It's very nice, it's very polite, and they start talking around it. But a Dutch professional is always in short supply of time, whether it's a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. So if you make an appointment with your doctor, you tell the assistant already, look, I have a few things. Normally you're scheduling for an appointment 5 or 10 minutes, but I need a little bit more time. And then you can say basically everything you want, but you go straight into it. You say, hello doctor, I have a problem here, there and that. You explain what the problem is, and then you have a kind of efficient transfer of information. It sounds very crude, but this is how it works. And that is where the system is based on. If the doctor gets somebody who starts talking about all kinds of things, and then in the end he can drag out what the problem is, it's not working. It's also driving the doctor, who is in short supply of time, sometimes a bit crazy.
Okay.
I think that's the Dutch background behind it.
Let me go first with the last one. Not every culture communicates the same. The Afro diaspora is very relationship oriented. We need to build a relationship with you so that we can trust you and then get to the point. A lot of times in training for healthcare givers, of providers, we try to teach them that even time is precious, a relationship with your patient is as precious. And you need to understand that some people take more time to explain to you certain things. And educate your patient gradually so that you can meet each other. You know, because you cannot change everybody, but you can change your way of thinking and your way of approaching things. Coming back to the eigen bijdrage, what you are talking about, everyone who is insured has an eigen bijdrage. You need to be aware of it, and so when you go to your GP and he suggests certain things, ask them if there is some pressure on your eigen bijdrage and how much is it, so that you can, you know, plan it. Because not everybody has it all the time. If you are in need, you can go to the municipal and talk about that part of your insurance and your eigen bijdrage, but even so, everybody needs to pay a certain amount. So when you get your insurance, save at least 200 euros, so that you know I can pay a certain things. Because if I correctly, eigen bijdrage is 350.
Yes, but I think there's a slight distinguish between the GP is actually
free, but
his consults are free.
Yeah.
The specialist. I'm sorry?
The specialist.
The specialist.
The medicine, it's everything he prescribes that's going to cost money.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you go 4 times. I see you. No. It is actual what he prescribes that is going to cost you money.
Yeah.
So you have to ask about how much that is and if you want.
Thank you. I think to explain it very well, they should be able to know that if they have a doctor, house doctor, there should be that relationship.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a doctor that you are afraid of, or when you enter, you will be in a haste because he cannot ask you out. When you start explaining, you should be looking at him and be able to tell him exactly what is wrong with you, and be able to ask him questions. The drugs you're prescribing, are they free, or am I going to pay for them later? You should be able to know. When you don't have a doctor that you are very close to, you are free to change that house doctor.
Precisely. Yeah, and I think most importantly, keep in mind, if I cannot trust you, if I don't have that relationship with you, you are not the right match for me. So change. You know, at times, and I'm talking from my personal experience, I have go to doctors for just to meet them, to see, can I have a connection with you before I apply as a patient. That's something you can do, you know, because finally you want somebody, you're going to put your life in that person's hands, so you need to trust that person.
Yeah.
You had some question?
Yeah.
Ladies first.
I had a GP before, and this GP was very, very nice. And then I changed that GP because we relocated to Amsterdam. Then I found out that this very GP is always in a hurry. So when I go, I tell him, listen, if you don't want to deal with me, then I think it would be nice that we change. But after I changed to the one of my husband, then I found out that it's just the same system. They don't have the time because it is what is specified. So this second GP had to bring where it's written clearly for me to see. He said, I can't give you more than this, but the only thing is that you can come as much as you can. So it doesn't matter how you try to feel at home and make them, their dealing is quite different from what we have in Nigeria. So that is the mentality we just have to adopt.
Yes.
It comes over you.
What I wanted to say, because they don't have time. They are restricted to that 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
You can say you don't have connection. Connection doesn't come there. You don't have time to start talking connection with you.
They don't have time, true.
Yeah.
But at the same time, by knowing this as a patient, try to manage your time.
Yeah.
Yes. Because if they have 5 minutes for you, those are 5 minutes for you. So use it as wisely as possible. That's my advice.
My question is, it's an experience myself and somebody that just passed away. Because this 5 minutes thing, 5 minutes thing, at the end of the day, somebody is having serious health issues. They don't give you the time to check you. And then at the end of the day, your insurance company is taking a lot of money from your bank account. Meanwhile, the person is dying slowly inside because a Christian sister just passed away. Initially, it was blood pressure, diabetes. Before you know it, nobody knew it was cancer building inside. And before they discovered it, it was late. As I'm talking to you, she was buried yesterday. So they should, I think the government should look into this, and instead of 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes is reasonable. So that like issues whereby you have to go for tests, let there be a thorough check. So that whatever the ailment is inside that is not really visible for just you talking, it's my hand on this, there is more to it presently in the world we live in now. There are ailments that you've been having pains, you think it's just minor pain, but there is something, maybe a tumor, that if it's been done on time, it will be seen and a life might be saved.
Getting second thoughts, I think we must be aware how professionals in the Netherlands get paid by the insurance companies, whether they're lawyers or doctors or whatever. The normal system is that you get not paid by the amount of time you spend to a client, but you have a kind of fixed fees. A general practitioner, correct me if I'm wrong, gets fixed fee for every client in his practice. Yes, and also I think an addition for a consult. So whether that consult is long or short, I don't think that is much, is no financial difference. So if you're a general practitioner spending a lot of time at clients who need a long talk about everything, that is not good for your private life, let's put it this way. So if you are a general practitioner, you try to keep things strict. A lawyer too, because if I work on subsidized legal aid basis, you get a fixed fee for every step in the procedure. If people want to, let's say that I need 5 hours for such a procedure. If I have clients who want to come and visit and talk, and everybody wants to talk about it, and I spend 25 hours on such a case, it's not going to work. So, like the gentleman said, manage your time. Bring all your information with you. Go to the doctor. Well, 6 minutes will do nicely. In that time, you can explain a lot if you come to the point directly. That is how it works here. So, and sometimes people make medical mistakes, diseases are not being detected, but that happens everywhere. That is the curse of being a professional. Nobody is perfect, they're all human. So I'm afraid I cannot judge that. But be aware of how the system works. So time is in short supply.
Thank you. You wanted to say something? Come in front. I cannot reach so far.
Thank you. Actually, I just want to chip in one thing and ask a question. My question is the first. At what point in time can we tell our doctor that I want you to refer me to a specialist? Because that's one of the things that keeps on delaying the situation. And we realize it when it's much too late. So I will just refer my own experience. I had experience, well, some years back, whereby I just had purely stress. And I was just having some kind of light burning pain in my stomach. And I had about 20 x-rays without finding anything. I called him one day, this is just not working. Yes. Just refer me to a specialist. Within a week, he just came back and said, actually, you had just some kind of strange stress within your body. Just have some rest, have just enough time for yourself. And after about a month, the thing went, and for over 5 years, I never had it again. So I think it's very wise for us to just react quick enough. If we just keep on having this discussion with our doctor every now and then and it's not working, please refer me to a specialist because I'm paying for the services.
Exactly. So, you know, be clear about your symptoms. Be clear about what you feel. At the same time, be clear what you expect from the GP. If he tells you we're going to do some exams and nothing came out, make a plan with him. What's the next step? How long are you going to treat me, or are you going to send me to a specialist? But to send you to a specialist, he needs information. Because he cannot send you to any kind of specialist. So he needs to do some research first. And based on that research, he needs to make a plan and discuss it with you so that you both know where you're standing. So you need to ask more questions. Because by asking them, he can give you the information so you can make up your mind what you expect from him. The other thing, and we didn't discuss it, but I want to address it anyway, is a lot of time we wait too long. We have pain, we don't feel comfortable, but we talk with nobody. We use our herbs, and there is nothing wrong in using your herbs, but be clear that if the herbs didn't work in a week, go and seek help. You know? And please don't use medication prescribed to somebody else. Because you don't know the reason the person got them, and even if it works for that person doesn't mean it's gonna work for you. It can make matters worse. So please be careful. Okay? So people, we're gonna close this part, and now we're gonna talk about you, your health. Okay? And first, Oscar will tell you a little bit about the Amsterdamse aanpak gezond gewicht, and then I will take over. Okay?
Yes. Yeah, I will tell this because this is the actual program we're working for, and this is the prevention part we're talking about. We have a program in Amsterdam, and because we have a problem that is going to cause problems in the future, in the nearby future. We have a lot of children that are obese or overweight already. And this is this is concerning for us because this is gonna evolve in health problems like diabetes, like high blood pressure, and because that is gonna cost a lot of money in the future, apart from all the problems that is on a personal level. The city of Amsterdam decided to have a program to have a preventive program, and with the mission, all children in Amsterdam on a healthy weight in 2033. And our vision is a healthy lifestyle is a collective responsibility, and the healthy choices should be the easy choice. Now, I don't know, some people live in Southeast, right?
Yes.
I don't know if you have been to the Amsterdam Support. Yeah. If you walk through it with your children, then you can see how hard it is to keep saying no to your children. You walk past the KFC, you walk past the McDonald's, you mean, you know? At the end of Amsterdam Support, you're tired. You say, oh, yeah, we're right. Have the hamburger, you know? And this is actually what we want to aim, is that keep the surroundings for the parents and the children healthy, so the choice should be easy. The choice now is quite hard to have a healthy choice. It's very easy to take any snorter or the car or anything else instead of walking like people used to do. Or it is very hard to make a healthy choice to drink water instead of Fernandez or Coke. And what we want is to make that easier for people to make that choice. This is just in Amsterdam. We have 20% overweight amongst children in Amsterdam, and nationwide that's 12%, and that's why we want to attack this. And there are several health risks. Well, I think you might know them: diabetes, high blood pressure, respiratory problems. You walk up the stairs and you're out of breath at the end. And depression, anxiety. This is a scheme where is here. In the middle there's the family, actually the children and the parents, and we attack the professionals that work directly with them on a personal level. But we have this preventive shell around it where we target the onderwijs, the schools, we target the healthcare, we target the community, and so we target all different areas around the child, so it can be in a healthy surrounding. We do that in these preventive ways. We have the 1,000 days approach, and that means in the womb, when -9 months, when the child is conceived, and during the first year, this is a very, very important part of the child's future, because then it's programmed for the rest of his life. So you have the different children that one is very active and one is always sitting on his phone or doing nothing. That is actual programmed in those first period, in this first period. And also about what kind of food you like, how you burn your energy. All that is in this first period is programmed. So that's why we want to really lay emphasis on this period in time. And we'll have the school program Jump In, where we target the schools. You might know if your children are in primary school, you have the restrictions on they only drink water, they have fruits. You might know it, you might have seen it in Amsterdam anyway. And we have the buurtaanpak, the neighborhood and the community approach, and that's where Juan and I work. This is what we do, like this, and we do that in many different for different people. And we have the surroundings, the healthy surroundings that
well, when you talked about Amsterdam Sport, we try to change that as well. And we have the healthcare. And the healthcare we discussed earlier, but the healthcare obviously can improve, and that's what we try to do. Yeah, there's some pictures of what we do. All right, and then this was our program. Do you have any questions about this? Is our preventive program, what we do? Yeah?
Thank you. So, did you know, fathers or fathers in Spain, that your health can be significant for the onboard child? Did you know that? Hmm?
Yes.
That your health is very significant for the onboard child?
Yes. Yes, of course.
Did you know that?
Oh, yes.
Who can tell me why?
Yeah.
Yeah? How about it?
Yes, I think, for example, if someone has a kind of diabetes and is not well treated, or is even unchecked, it could be transferred to a baby. Or if someone is HIV positive but is not tested, definitely it will be transferred to an unborn child.
True, but then we are talking about people with a certain illness. But your general health can be also in play. I would say a lot, and I was one of them, I was heavier. True or not?
Yeah, true.
I had a belly. Sign of a good life.
Yes, yes. No, this one is normal.
You know, I will tell you why. When you want to become a father and you have a belly, sign of good life, and you conceive a child with a woman, you're sending those information also to your onboard child that can become overweight or obese at a certain point in their life. So fathers, please take care of your body. Try to lose that healthy well-being and be healthy without a belly, for example. I'm being clear?
Yes.
Good. And the rest we forget. True or not?
Yes.
So, I want to know from you, what are you doing to be emotionally healthy?
Ask me a question?
Yes, that's my question. I said that you were going to work today. It is an interactive workshop today.
Okay, for me to be emotional healthy, like, for example, I used to go to gym. Going to gym is not to go and carry weight in order to show my muscles or anything. Sometimes I go there, I only run. I run 1 hour, 30 minutes. I go home. I feel emotionally I'm okay because I walk from my head to my toe.
Okay, that's your part.
Yes.
Do we believe that this is based on his emotional health? Sorry? Coming from?
That's more physical.
That's physical. Come, come over.
I don't want to talk today, I talk so much. In terms of emotional has to deal with things you don't say, and I think it has to do with the community, like being with your people. I tell comedy shows, things that make you laugh. And basically I think that is what it is. Like I said, I don't want to talk too much today.
You're going to talk today.
Talk about emotions, it's a wide thing. Emotion is very wide because it depends on which specific area you are emotional about. For example, you can be, emotion is what you feel, your feelings. Yeah, what you feel about something. that makes you become sober about that thing. You become emotional about it. For example, you can watch the television and they show certain programs about children suffering in Africa, in Asia, in some other parts of the world. You become so emotional. You feel for them and put yourself, if they were my children, if my children were born in that part of the world, how would I feel? What would I feel? You know, you become emotional about them. Obviously, emotion also has to do, like I said, it's a feeling. It's a specific feeling depending on what you're feeling about. All right? It can also be what you feel for your friends, what you feel for your community. For example, the president of NNA can become emotional about the problems of Nigerians in the Netherlands. Right? If she feels things are not going on as it's supposed to be, she becomes sober about it, she becomes touched in her heart about what she's thinking about. Meaning that emotion is your feeling.
What is health and what is wellness? In this aspect, what are the things we do that gives us emotional balance? And like for me, I love singing, I love dancing. I love to dance. And when I dance and I listen to good music, I'm so happy. All the element that releases happiness in me comes out. So in this case, what I do sometimes at home, I just put on the music, my kids and I, sometimes with their father, we search for the best dancer. And then you see the whole house. My son will always tell me, Mommy, I feel butterfly inside my stomach. That is one thing we do. It's just a basic thing we do to build up the energy of happiness at home.
Yeah, dank u wel. From my own perspective, I look at wellness and health as a situation whereby you release stress from yourself. Something that makes you laugh.
Yeah.
You know, create in yourself what makes you laugh. When you are laughing, then some of these stresses will get out from your body, and it makes you to be more emotional. And so that is my own contribution. Something that can make you stress-free. So, and also involved in a lot of, don't frown your face. Make sure that don't frown your face, because when you frown your face, and how they be happy, be delightful. When you frown your face, the number of bones that you use in frown your face is not the number of bones that you use to laugh. So it's better to be laughing. So when you laugh, then you'll be stress-free. You'll be, even at all, the people around you, they get emotional feeling about, they get emotional feelings. So
hardworking people. Yeah. But what I'm hearing is, but we want to enjoy life too. The only thing you don't doing it yet. So maybe we can get there today.
Not totally true. They share quite a lot of ways to enjoy life and be in balance. So that's nice. Yeah, that's good. That's good. You're already doing it. Dimensions of health and wellness. Physical health, body size and functioning. Social health, interpersonal network and successful interaction with others. Intellectual health, ability to think clearly and make responsible decisions. Emotional health, ability to express emotions and maintain a level of self-confidence. Environmental and planetary health, appreciation of one's external environment. Spiritual health, have a sense of meaning and purpose in one's life.
I'm coming back to you. Your answer and what you are seeing now. What do you think?
Yeah. I made mention of, I think my own side rhyme with the physical health.
Yeah. Your example was from physical health and not emotional.
Not emotional.
And my question was about emotion.
Yeah.
So can you answer it now?
Okay, yeah, I can answer it. But I feel this question, it depends on individuals.
Yeah.
It's not everybody, because the way you have you get your
Okay, 1 second.
Okay.
I'm not talking to the group. I asked you a question. So you're the individual. So please answer me.
Well, emotionally, I know. Physically, I know how to get myself physically. But emotionally, I know how to get myself on point physically. But it's now, even I can even put myself on point also in emotional situation. Because, if I want to get myself emotionally, there's many places I can go. I need to laugh. I need to be happy. I can go to comedian, maybe where they're having comedy show. Yeah, sitting down there, listening to what they're saying. Emotionally, I'm just easing off.
I'm coming back to you. I'm coming. People, is it work on is emotional health? You're trying, but there are a difference. I don't need the outside world to work on my emotions. I need to deal with my emotions, me, myself, and then by interaction, get feedback on it so I can work more on it. A lot of times, and that's one of the things, and correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of time when it comes to emotional health, I'm going to say something that Helen is going to scream, I'm going to say it anyway, women are more focused on their emotional health and taking more care of it than we men do.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes, it's true.
And how come that we men are not doing that?
I'm not a man.
I'm not coming your way yet. Can I ask you? How can men improve their
emotional situation?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, it depends on individuals.
Okay, give me
I
some
think
pointers.
there are so many ways men can express their emotional conditions. Like one, there are some men that are always they're very angry when they are with their spouse. Instead of staying, talking, be happy, playing with each other, they are angry. You understand me? Because like when it comes in a relationship, sex is a very, very important role it plays in men's life and women too. You know, like when spouses are having sexual intercourse, it releases a lot of emotions. You know, that's one. You release a lot of stress. Makes you happy, going to clubs and do something that will make you feel happy. That's by doing that you're releasing stress. You're emotionally happy. Stop your wife is taking her face to the other side and you to the other side. Some of them don't play, they don't talk love, they don't talk nothing. They're just there like that kind of.
Sorry. I want to talk a little bit about the emotion, then I come to your question. I think, from my own understanding, women are more emotional. And in this aspect, men always have problem with their business and how to create the weight that they desire. And it's another hand, it's very difficult for a lot of men to identify what is emotional difficulty, because they don't even identify that. They think it's normal, that is how it's supposed to live. So I will urge you to give us more attention and teach us how to control the emotional aspect of life, especially the men, because stress is always there, and this is not how it's supposed to be. I think there's a better way you can teach us how to work in the emotional aspect of our life first. Then the other hands of your question about why men are so angry. Men are so angry, it's not like women. Women are more. Because when you, yes, women are more.
How?
Thank you, I will come to that.
Women nag.
Women nag and they are so much emotional. Then men, why men are so angry depends on individual. Like me, I don't get angry. Personally, I can tell you about myself.
That's a good one.
And, I don't like when people are angry, but I know a lot of men are angry based on what they desire to do if it's not forthcoming. So it's a big problem. So we need to have more attention about how to contain our problems, how to go about when you are facing some challenges that will warrant angry, because it's very important you share that idea with us also.
Okay.
Thank you.
What he said about physical, when you asked him about the emotional, I want to say that they are interconnected, because it depends on how you want to manage your emotion. It depends on how you want to manage the stress. Some people, when they are stressed up, they go to the gym. You run, maybe after running or having that exercise, you feel better. It's not just physical, but it's a way of bringing down that stress. And some would like to go to parties, some would like to go to, that is why when you're depressed, it is highly advised not to stay alone.
Yeah.
When you are depressed, you can take a walk. You can do anything. You can communicate with people. Look for somebody. That is why the government will even assign somebody to you. Maybe a social worker to talk to you so that you come out of that depression. So all this, they are interconnected. So you manage them the same way. Depends on what you like.
Yeah, sorry, what I want to say about emotional. My mother and father always says, if you know something that will make you happy, please do. Because every person knows me. Personally, they're going to talk about men, but women, I say no. Every person can talk about me. I told everybody that every person can suffer high blood pressure. Personally, myself, I cannot suffer. Because every time you see me, I'm always happy. I'm always happy. And my mother always told me when I was a small boy, so if you want to live long, you must learn how to make yourself happy. Sometimes, if you know that you cannot control it, because if you are a man, if you know you are so angry, if you are beer, alcohol, you must go straight to alcohol and make yourself happy. No, it's not on the topic of that. If you know it's a woman, because some men can get the happiness through women. If you know that it's a woman and you are so angry, you run to a woman, you make you happy. Some men always get their happiness through cigarette. And if you are so stressed, you go straight to cigarette. No, there's no problem about that. But you want the most important thing is to make yourself happy. Women too, some women are so happy when they see men. So when they are so sort of people to break yourself down, that thing you make you feel that gives you happiness. You go straight so that you can live the most important thing, to live the normal life you're supposed to live. That's my own. Right.
That a lot of you didn't plan to migrate, and therefore you didn't have a fixed plan when you came here. A lot of you came because of stories of others that told you that here is the mountain of gold. And it isn't. Right?
Yeah.
The other thing is you didn't have a plan fixed on how long I'm going to stay here. And what that means for me in losing my social network. And then your social health comes into play. Because a lot of you came here with some legal, some through the back door, and therefore shutting down all the social connections and therefore isolating themselves. What happens to a person who is isolated? They get lonely, they get into their head, and they get sick. Because they don't interact. And that's very important. That as a migrant, when you migrate, be aware that you're giving up some things and that you need to build things here. If it is for 2 years you plan to stay, build a social network for those 2 years. If it is for a long time, build a social network. How many of you did do that? Not a lot of you.
You cannot do that because you don't know what you will face here. Because you can say you're for 1 year, you find out you're 10 years, you have not
without having even.
And that's the problem, that you need to know that the moment you step on the plane or the boat or whatever, you needed to start building a social network. You have learned back home that alone you cannot achieve anything. You need others. So, migration means building up without losing yourself. And the other thing that you didn't talk about, I know about, is that there is a certain mistrust that comes around with migration. And therefore isolate you more. And if you don't deal with that as a human being and as a community, and that's why I'm glad you are organizing this, because then people can address this and see how you can make the next step in better. Okay? That's the social part. The intellectual part is that a lot of times the more seasoned one that migrate thinks they don't need to learn anything because they know everything already. And that's not true. Every day we learn. From the moment we stand up till the moment we sleep, we learn new things. We are faced with new perspectives. And we need to deal with them. And if you shut yourself up for it, because it isn't what you want, or you're not used to, you're isolating yourself and you're getting back in your intellectual development. Choosing to be in another country helps you to develop other views. So please, it doesn't matter your age, continue to develop your intellectual health. Can we all agree on that one? Yes. Okay. Emotional health. It was a strict question of mine to put the gender thing in between. Because a lot of times women think they are more emotional than men. That's not true. Both are the same. The only thing is that women have certain skills that men don't have. And therefore, they look like they are more emotional and can express themselves. That's not true. They only have other way of communication. What happened in the discussion that I saw here was a few things. That the gender thing is an issue. Yes. We need to address men and women roles. From the moment that women decided to migrate, their role, their traditional role back home has changed. Sure. Because the environment has changed. The environment has other skills from that women to survive in this environment. The same for the men. The environment has changed. So you men need to, you're not less men if you wash the dishes. or if you clean the house. It is about dealing with the new situation you're in, because you don't have that social network that puts you on a pedestal there. At the same time, even there, the gender issue is changing. So why are we holding so hard on those roles, men and women? Because we need to realize women raise men. And if women want the men to change, women need to change their mindset too, by raising their son differently. And the same to the men. If you want to change your son, you need to change your mindset. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, I'm preaching. Environmental and planetary health. I'm going to use Southeast. A lot of us, when we walk, and nowadays it's better than in the past, people are used to throw their garbage out. And then they are complaining, they have cockroach and rats and all the other things. But we are working on the same thing. Because if you stop throwing your trash out, you will not get that. So if we want a healthy environment, we all need to work on it. And not expect the municipal to clean up after us. So when you go in Amsterdam Support, you see a lot of people throwing things away instead of putting it in their garbage. We need to take more care of the environment, people. Even back home, we need to do that more. Because we are polluting, and then what are we leaving for the next generation? Okay? Yes. And then spiritual health. There's for me, personal hate-love relationship that I have with it. I'm a believer. But at the same time, I'm praying that the churches change their way. And thank God, and I'm looking at you, thank God they are changing. But they can change more. Because the community, especially when you are a migrant, and you have your spiritual health, you need it to continue.
Yeah.
So they can play an active role, and they are doing, I have to say, in promoting more healthy lifestyle, in educating you more in how to deal with all those dimensions that you are dealing with. Okay? People, we're going to have a break of 5-10 minutes so that everybody can have a break, breathe a little bit, discuss with each other, eat something healthy. We have fruit juices. Even juices have a lot of sugar, by the way. The dimension of health and wellness are clear for everybody. So now we're going to talk about what is obesity. Okay?
Being overweight is a syndrome in which there is too much fat in your body. Obesity occurs when your body gets more nutrients inside than is required. The necessary amount of energy is in fact removed, and the excess nutrients are stored in your body in the form of fat as a reserve supply. Obesity is also overweight. The only difference is that you are overweight at a BMI, body mass index, of 25 or higher, and have that obesity is a BMI, body mass index, of 30 or more. If your BMI is over 40, then you speak of morbid obesity.
Is it clear? So, when we eat, our body uses what it needs and store what it don't need. If I don't eat regularly, I accustom my body to make more reserve. And therefore, reserve I will never use. And that happens, it comes here, it comes to the hip and the butt. And especially the fat here for men is dangerous because it brings you in the area of heart failure. If there is diabetics in your family, it can make it quicker to be addressed to you. So be careful how you eat. Have a regular way of eating. Have a good breakfast. And I understand some people do that, and I respect it. If you eat leftovers from the next day as your breakfast, keep it balanced. Most of the time, the leftovers that we have is a lot of carbohydrates. And that's not enough. Try to eat a good breakfast, have an in-between, and in-between is around 10 and 11. And an in-between can be a light snack or a fruit, one. And keep in mind some fruits that's more sugar than others. For example, of a lot of Afro-diaspora, some of them love certain vegetables and others don't. But it is important that you eat vegetables. And let the vegetable be more than the carbohydrate. So less rice, potato, fufu, plantain, and more of vegetables. And if you eat chicken, keep in mind the skin of the chicken has a lot of fat. Especially if you're a low-budget family that eats a lot of chicken wings, keep in mind chicken wings has a lot of fat. So be careful how you use it, okay? Then at 3, 4 o'clock, have it in between again. And then eat your evening meal, not too late. And I mean, here in the Netherlands, there's the Dutch thing, they like to eat at 6.
5, 6.
Between 5 and 6, latest 7. True? Okay. The thing is, the most migrants like to eat because we come from warm countries. We like to eat 8, 9, 10.
Even 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock.
I'm talking about those that keep the time. Others, I know, start to eat at 11, 12, 1, 2. And do you know what happens with all the food you take at that moment? Your body cannot process it because you go to sleep, your body is not doing anything at that moment, and therefore your body will store it. The belly, the backside, and the hips. Okay? So be aware, if you're gonna eat 2 hours before going to bed. At least 2 hours. If you eat in the evening, don't eat a bowl of carbohydrate. Eat less of that, more vegetables. Okay? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Then we will. This one we will skip, people can read it. Yeah.
Cardiovascular diseases, especially when there's too much fat around the abdomen. It's about consequences and the risk of being overweight. Joint problems, arthritis, diabetes, elevated cholesterol, high blood pressure, certain types of cancer such as breast cancer, kidney cancer, uterine cancer,
colorectal cancer and esophageal cancer.
Okay, so you need what it costs to being overweight. And then we say, yeah, but we are looking healthy because I have all the curves. Curves are nice as long as it corresponds with your height and your weight. So it isn't about how more curves or prettier. Okay? I know we have different aesthetics as it comes to body look, body like, but we need to be careful because back home you walk more, you move more,
you burn more.
Here,
naturally,
you eat,
the weather makes you to burn it.
you work, and some of you have 2 jobs, but even so, you're working and then you sleep. You don't do enough to burn all what you eat. And therefore, it causes you problems. So try to deal with that part. Okay?
Yeah.
Next. What you need to keep in mind is when people start complaining, and I will tell you my own story. Last year, and I'm a worker, I work a lot. I was feeling fatigued, I didn't know what I have. I went to the doctor, I know the story. I went there, he told me, oh, you're overworked, you need to take it easier. I said, that's not overwork, I know what overwork is, I'm not overworked. After like a good half year, wasn't it?
6 months.
I went and he said, you know what, I'm going to send you to the cardiologist, to the specialist. And what happens, my left coronary was for 90% almost blocked.
Wow.
So they needed to doctor me, give me a stand and things like that. I have learned my lesson. And I'm doing this all my life already. And even so, that's the reason I lost weight. Because in my view, I was living healthy, but I had a belly. But this part of the culture, you need to have wellness, you know? Big man. And now I'm trying to keep it flat. You know? So, and I move more, and I try to get more rest, things like that. So be aware that when you're having fatigue, and it continues for a long time, and you are aware that it isn't based on being overworked or stress or whatever, go and let yourself checked. Okay? Yeah. Same with sleeping disorder. A lot of people say, I sleep not so good. They go to bed late and wake up early. And some of it can be stress, but some of it can be based on other things too. So be aware of that part. Lower back pain. When you carry more in front, you will feel it. So be aware of keeping a weight that is correspondent with how high you are. And don't have like this and then thinking that your back can take it. Okay?
Yeah.
Perspiration, I will leave that one. Muscle pain. A lot of people are complaining nowadays, oh, it hurts here and it hurts there. A lot of us, when we come home, what do?
With television.
We sit in front of the television, our children become our remote control, go to the kitchen, go up, go down, do this, do that. We are not moving from that couch until we go to bed, true or false?
It's true.
So, that gives our muscle not enough exercise, and therefore we're going to have pain. So move, even if you have worked the whole week, move. The best thing you can do for those that eat around 8, 9, 10, take an half-hour walk outside. You know, walk a block of 30 minutes.
I take the steps if I live in a high-rise unit.
Or if you're living in the high buildings here, go full up and come full down. But do it.
No, but only, it's not about the exercise, it's about including it in your day-to-day activity. So instead of taking the bus, walk that little distance.
How many of you, if you want to go to the Amsterdam support and you live in Bullenwijk, you take the metro for one stop, or you call the Snorde. Can you pick me up?
Yeah.
Or you drive.
Or you drive, yeah.
Instead of saying, I'm going to walk that.
And the problem is that it used to be normal. In the earlier days, it used to be normal. You walked everywhere. Yeah. And you exercise because you work in the land or something else, like physical. Yeah. And now it is a conscious thought and a decision you have to make. And that is very hard actually, because it was automatic.
Oscar, don't forget, they have made it. So they need to show that they have made it. So they need the car so people can see that they have made it.
Is it here or there?
I'm talking about here and there. Shortness of breath during exercise, and I mean shortness of breath even for some who are just doing homework. You know, by vacuuming or taking the stairs in the house from the first floor to the second floor, and your shortness of breath, something is going wrong. Go to the physician and let people check you out. Okay? Next one. Precisely. And the other thing is how can I say it? Be informed of your family history, health-wise concern. A lot of us don't know if high blood pressure is something that is in our family, or that our family members who has diabetes. Be informed. You know, let your parents tell you what are the kind of illnesses that are in your family, so that you can be informed, and so you can inform the child later on.
And your GP as well, because this is very crucial information if you come to the doctor and
Precisely.
says, do you have that in your family? You don't know the answer? It might be that you're at higher risk because it is in your family, so you should know.
Go ahead.
Physical health deals with the body's ability to function. Physical health has many components, including exercise, nutrition, sleep, alcohol and drugs, and weight management. Bravo. B. Voldoende bewegen. R. Niet roken. A. Matig alcoholgebruik. V. Gezonde voeding. O. Tijdig ontspannen.
So it is important to, when it concerns your physical health, to have enough physical exercise. At the same time, don't smoke. And I don't know how many of you smoke here, but preferably don't smoke. If you use alcohol, not more than 2 glasses a day. If you use alcohol, and let me specify it, 2 glasses of wine is okay, 2 glasses of beer is okay, 2 glasses of spirit isn't okay, because there's too much alcohol in it. The best thing is to try to think, do I need it? And a lot of time you will find out you don't.
Right.
You know, it is about making choices.
Right.
Right? Good. And healthy food, we talk a lot about that. And tijdig ontspannen is enough free time to relax. If something that is, you know, always on this point of breaking, it will break at a certain time.
Right.
So if you put yourself constantly work, and you don't relax, And by relaxing, I don't mean you don't need to go on holiday if you don't want to, or if you don't have the means to, but it's about taking every time at least 1 hour for yourself, at least 1 hour to reflect, at least 1 hour to sit by yourself and understand your feelings. How many of you do that? How many of you really comes home and say, people, let me rest. And I mean rest. Putting this as far as it can out. Be aware of what is going on in that body of yours, on all levels. You want to tell something?
No, you said how many people do that, and I said, yeah, some of us I do.
You do. How many don't do it? You don't?
I do it.
You cannot do it? Okay, let me go to him first. Can you come over here,
I do it because no problem. When I want to rest, like then I stand up and
do you tell people why you need that rest? You're hustling all the time.
Every day.
On the move. The difference is that their people hustle, but they also have time to relax. What is the reason that you can not do the same here? Why do you think that you need to hustle and you don't really need to? I can understand if you want to help, there is a certain part that you can help. But the other part is telling people what you need. Because if you don't tell them, they cannot support you, and therefore you are not able to help them. Okay? Yes. So be aware of this.
8 hours.
Everybody needs 8 hours of sleep.
Yes.
No, 8. You make 6 of it because it benefits you. But this 8. 8 hours.
I would like to add to this that this is for adults, and for children, it is actually a lot more. So we don't have the statistics here, but we have the information. We can send it to you because I think that it's very important to know that children, because of they're growing and they're learning every single day, they really need their sleep, because otherwise they will be unhealthy as well. You need to give them that rhythm.
People, our time is almost over. It's 9:30.
I want to address the issue of an adult sleeping 8 hours. It's not possible. I have reason. Look, you work. I work as people. I resume work 6 o'clock. I live where I live some few minutes after 4. Then I close 3:30. Come back home, prepare my food, eat. I cannot go to bed 7 o'clock. It's not possible because everywhere is still noisy. So,
did you have earplugs?
Earphones. Yeah, no. That one I will not sleep because something is ringing in my head. I need a quiet atmosphere.
So I would say you could do a lot on the conditions to reduce noise. But you need your 8 hours sleep. Try to achieve it.
And I think to compartmentalize it will be very difficult. First, to find out what is it, what causes it. From my understanding as an African, and a Nigerian to be precise, there is this issue of culture shock. First, 99.9% of us who came to this part of the world came with a purpose. And there is this illusion and make believe that Europe is better with silver and gold and perhaps diamond and sapphire. And you come here and you discover that it's all nothing but just a mirage and a pipe dream. And while you are beginning to think of how you come out of the conundrum or the situation you find yourself, the phone calls are buzzing from Africa. Brother, you see, basically you are under pressure. Your father is calling you, your mother is calling you, your brothers are calling you, because we have a social network in Africa. Especially if you are the first son, you take up the responsibility of a small father, of your siblings. So you are under pressure. And that pressure can lead to stress and can be fatal. In summary, I think there is this need for programs of this nature for us to sensitize our people, and especially for us to go back and be role models and be truthful to ourselves, that when you come here, we cannot change the Dutch culture. It is absolutely not possible. There is an English word that says, if you cannot stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. If you cannot stand their system, get out. I came to this country, I've been paying Resico, I don't even know what it is. I questioned my doctor, how can I be paying money every month, the 100 and something euro, and when I take paracetamol the next day, I have to pay. He said, well, that is the system. What do? It's either I stay in and I pay, or I get out. So, in essence, we should tell ourselves here that we are here in Europe. As far as you find yourself here, I am a believer that there's a bigger being up there, that God wants you to be here and accept the situation here. The idea of I'm going to go back tomorrow, I will soon go home, I will soon go home, that I'm going to be back soon, I'm going to be back soon. You put pressure on yourself. And when you die, you die. So on the issue, Oscar, right? He said, like he said, this issue differs from an individual. If I cry before my father, and we want to know what happened. And let's say, what happened, Rodney or Bishop? He said, oh, Oscar beat me. He said, Oscar beat you? We are come. We said, we are fight Oscar and kill yourself today. In Africa, especially where we come from, they tell you, as a man, you have to be like a lion. It's preparing you, they do wrestling. It's preparing you to be a man and face challenges of life. So perhaps when Oscar is beating me too much, you say, Oscar, why are you beating my son like that? It varies from an individual to an individual. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think my brother has said almost what I want to say. But I think one other thing is we should be able to identify with ourselves what our problems are. Most times we are very secretive about the problems we have. We don't want to talk to anybody about it. And you're dying inside, and which it kills more than anything. I will give an example. There's a Dutch girl, my colleague. She was having stress every day, quarrel with everybody at work. She was so aggressive. One day, she went to the MT. She said, I want to have a 1-week holiday. They asked what? She's stressed up because she hasn't had sex for one year. Yes, they gave her, immediately they gave her holiday. She went to his one boy, he had no boyfriend. She has to go. 1 week she came back, she was all smiles. Sometimes we feel stupid to not identify our problems. There are a lot of problems. We are Africans. A woman will come home, she wants something from her husband. She wouldn't come forth for it. She will want the man to come for it. She's aggressive because the body is hot, but she cannot show, she cannot fight because it's our culture. Man should. No, I'm just saying, it happens. It might not happen to you, but this is one of the problems. We have to identify our problems, and then you know how to deal with the emotions.
Okay, we make a lot of jokes about the African time. I'm an African diaspora. I know that African time. But at times, we need to be serious about it, because it brings us also in disadvantages in a lot of cases. So be aware of it. Use it. It can help you at times, but not all the time. I will skip all of these for now and address the last thing I want to say for this evening. A good decision making and a healthy choice reduce the risk of disease and increase the health overall. A lot of time we make decisions based on finances or on how people look at us or how people will treat us because we are the good son or the good daughter. And therefore taking the risk of having a poor health. And believe me, what I'm going to say will sound harsh, but I meant it. When you die, people will cry maybe for a month, and their life will continue.
That's only 1 hour, one minute.
You know? So, you are the one who keeps his health in his hand. And you do with it what is best for you. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay, we didn't finish. You know where to find us. I would suggest, especially for the Nigerians living in Amsterdam who wants to do healthy lifestyle project to address Oscar and I, so that we can have those type of meetings. But also, it isn't not only informative, but I have noticed some things that I want to give back to the community. You do a lot of things good, but there are things I think that you can improve. One of them is communication. We can help you with communication if you want to, especially when it comes to learning how to deal with care providers. That's one. Secondly, communication between the genders. I have noticed the tension at times. Deal with it, people, because your son and daughters need it for later on. Okay? So thank you, Evelyn, and thank you, Helen, for having us here. You wanted to address the ticket. I will give it to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Ion Walter and Mr. Oscar. Thank you, Nigerians, for being here today. We learned a lot. The information we gathered today is worth more than $1 million. If you really want to appreciate it. Because as he said before, prevention is better than cure. If you have not been taking enough sleep, you've not been resting, and you've been overworking yourself, you know you are really going the wrong way, and you have to retrace your steps. He has also taught us that we have to communicate. You communicate, you interact with others. Don't bottle up. Don't, when you have problem, you feel that the world is ending or that yours is worse than others. Please try to communicate with one another, and the best way to do it is to belong to an association. You cannot do it alone. If you belong to an association, that association will be able to look for you when they don't see you. And that association will be able to represent you fully in the Nigerian National Association. So on that note, I will also inform you that we also I've introduced him before, Mr. Clairweg. He's an immigration lawyer. We got him to be taking care of immigration matters for Nigerians. He is here. Go around with the cards. So when you have problem, what you need is just to call him and call me. So wherever you are, we will look for you. The Charge d'Affaires promised me. I had a meeting with her last Thursday with Apostle Helen, and she gave us her word that she must be here. But we didn't see her, and maybe she will still explain why. So Mr. Clairwell will be working with the Nigerian National Association, with also the embassy, because the embassy is here to take care of Nigerians. On that note, I would like to hand over to my the Vice President of the Nigerian National Association, Uyi Olaye, to give us the vote of thanks.
Thank you, President. I want to give a short vote of thanks over what has happened here today. Obviously, I know that every one of us individually and collectively have confirmed the fact that this has been a very beneficial seminar for Nigerians. I want to thank the President of the NNA for the initiative and with other members, executive members of the NNA for bringing up this seminar as an initiative. I want to thank our advocate for creating time to be here. And obviously, we hope that you continue to be part of our efforts, part of our initiatives, and part of the challenge we have to be able to see to the rights and privileges of Nigerians in the Netherlands. I want to thank especially our health officers, Mr. John Walter and Oscar Hosha, I hope I pronounced it well, for your presence, for the knowledge you have imparted on us and on our people. And I can assure you that these efforts you have made are not wasted. We have been doing some jotting, we have collected your handouts, and we are going to try to make use of them. You were saying something, and the president of Edo Union was pointing to me, said, you know, because he knows I was guilty of certain things you were advising us to change. Not having enough time to sleep. I don't sleep. Okay, so, but now I started seeing what you were writing and you were explaining. I started getting afraid. Maybe I will die soon because. Okay, so I don't want to die soon. I still want to live and enjoy life. Yeah. So I'm going to keep to what you said. I'm going to try to go to sleep enough. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. Every Nigerian, we appreciate every one of you. And I also thank my people. Great Nigerians. Great Nigerians. Great. Nigerians are great people. And it's always a pleasure to have them around like this. And I assure you that Nigerians are serious-minded people. You can see when they were talking, you see the criticality. They are critical people who take things seriously. Okay? And that is the reason what they've gained today, they would apply. I'm very sure. I thank every one of you for being here. And I want to appeal to you that every time we have this kind of events, please be around and you will not regret it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, please, we need to take some good photographs and at least to be on memory, to keep it on memory about the seminar and to remind us of a day like this. Thank you very much.